and welcome to another episode of Die of a Gold Coin Dealer. I'm going to title this legendary month question mark. It's been a really strange one for me. A lot of things have aligned. The bulk of what I've done this month has been stamps, and it's been a very, very lucrative month. Now, I've never really spoken about this in prior episodes for two reasons. One, I'm not really that motivated by money. I know that. I've known that for years. I'm more motivated by targets. I'm a target driven person and money tends to be the byproduct. And two, you're only as good as your worst month. So you can have these fantastic months and you're like, yeah, go me. But if you're self employed, it goes both ways. It cuts both ways. And I don't want to give an unfair representation of the line of work I do because it just isn't true. That I'm not driving a Ferrari or a Lamborghini. I don't even drive. I don't really wish to drive either, not where I live anyway. If you buy a Lamborghini, you lose the wheels within an hour. But I've done incredibly well. I reckon with the bits I've got to come in, so I've got an auction lot to come in. I was fuming, spitting feathers about this. I paid them last Friday. I had to chase them up yesterday. I had to phone them up and I said, with all due respect, I wasn't aggressive or anything like that. I wasn't unprofessional. I just said, look, I can't pay my suppliers because you haven't sent the stock, and I've paid you what, 19 grand, 20 grand. I bought what, 4-5% of your stock. Why is it not being sent out? Oh, we'll get it out tomorrow. And I was thinking that's all well and good, but it's not good enough. You know, there's people out there who do this for a living, and it's not just myself. I know other traders who buy from this auction and these types of auctions, and they don't have their stock. And they haven't even had an update. Mine's been sent out today. Will it arrive tomorrow? I don't think so because it's coming parcelfuls. It might come Monday. But when that comes in and I've sold that, so we're talking Monday, 26th, 27th, 28th, it gives me 3 or 4 days to plough through a lot of it. But a lot of it's sovereigns. So I bought them in to move the postage. Again, the postage metric I would have used probably £1,000 worth of postage this month. I only need to use 500. So I'm going through the targets quicker than people think. I just haven't had the cash flow. I've got a batch of barcoded stamps to come back. I've got £8,000 worth of stamps at swap out. So when that comes back, that's a month's wages in itself for some people. In fact, that's a month's wages for me when I go back to the 3K baseline. That is the plan for me. So I'm not complaining. And I haven't done the numbers yet, but I've already done, I reckon, by the time I've tallied it, last time I tallied it, I was at 3,850. I'll be close to 5. So it's quickly building up. Now I do have to take away my costs. I'll do that at the end of the month. So I reckon I need to make £1,000 for it to be a 5-figure month. I've only ever hit that once. Only once in my career. I went for a real purple patch where I think I did 24k in 3 months. 23, 24k, something like that. Fantastic for me, I guess. I'm going to allocate it towards paying down my debt quicker, just because it makes my life a bit simpler. I didn't need to run this month up. It's just, I'm like a dog with a bone when I see a target, and I wanted to prove to myself that hitting 10k in a month wasn't a fluke. And last time it was a fluke. I can hold my hands up and say, if I'm being completely honest, looking at the man in the mirror, that making that money last time was a fluke. Everything lined up. I was doing it in coins. I was run ragged, and I had a couple of coins come in that I didn't even know what they were worth. Like one of them I remember was a Isle of Man silver proof set, and I paid £50 for it. I didn't know what it was. I just didn't know. Took it to a dealer, and the dealer paid me, I think it was like £1,200. It's to date, it is the largest percentage I've ever made on some coins. I didn't even know. I would have sold it for 60, 70 quid. I wouldn't know none the wise. It's just that I went to someone who knew better, and as a dealer, he offered me money, like a lot of money for it. And I went, okay. And my rationale was, if it's worth 2-3 grand, good luck to you. Because I would have taken 20 quid margin on it. Yeah, so last time it was a fluke. This time round, I feel like I've set it up and things have just come together at the right time. Now, I tend to work on 3 to 4 month cycles these days. So I know if I'm going to have a bad month or if I'm going to have a good month because I know what's coming in. I know, say, for example, I've got my stamp clientele. I know who needs stamps and who doesn't. That's a baseline. I might make £1,500 just from my stamp clients. Um, if I've got coins coming back from grading and I know the grades, I pencil in what the potential profit margin is for that. And then you've always got bits coming and going. Like yesterday, you saw a collection I had a couple of sovereigns coming today. One of them's gone, one of them's been offered out. I've got 5 shield sovereigns arriving tomorrow. I can kind of pencil these in, and you get a good figure. You get a feel for the numbers, and when you've been doing it a long time, you can look at it and you can plan it 2, 3, 4 months ahead. Now you could ask, why do you plan it over those cycles? One, because I think it's easier to break it up into 3 or 4 sections over the year, and two, because of how long it takes grading. So grading can be 3 to 4 months. So I roughly know my cash flow, how much cash flow is going to be coming back from the coins from grading if I sell everything. And that way I can plan appropriately when bidding at auction or buying from clients or bidding on or buying a block of stamps. It just makes my life a bit easier, but it's a very useful way to run it because you know your cash flow, you know your potential profit, and it gives you a bit of stability and it takes away that stress from you. Because I used to be nothing but a stress head. I don't stress as much these days. As you know, I don't deal with many suppliers these days. That's one of the reasons. It was stressing me out. I don't want to deal with it. It's not about the money. I don't care about the money. I don't need it. But I didn't want to deal with that added stress because the money I was getting paid wasn't taken away from that stress level. And it just wasn't. So this month, I've worked hard, and I've worked really hard. I've grounded it out. When I said it lined up, I had that order from Manchester, which I still had some bits to sell for this month. I had the stamp price rise, which was unforeseen, so I got away with that. I still had people buying the stamps this month. I got the auction and the swap out stock. That's if I get what I think it is and it arrives in time, that's £4,300 alone. So it's all kind of lined up. Now it worked the opposite way many months ago, where I was like, I only made 500 quid. Nothing went right that month, and if I do end up having a record month and I have a 10k month and I have that 500 month, that's only 2 months of 5,250. When you put it like that, it doesn't sound as impressive, does it? And it's not. It balances out over the course of the year, but for me it's more a personal goal target than it is like an impressive feat. If you're doing that every month, you're doing something very, very right. Now, make no bones about it. For you to be a 100k earner, you've got to do 8,333 a month. I'm not at that level. I don't want to be at that level. That sounds like stress. Like I could easily be, well, I know I am because I set the benchmark at 50k a year and I have done for years. Even in the year I was sick, which I kind of discounted, I got away with it because I had reserves. But 50k is where I like to be. Now I'll be above that this year. But next year, I'm not too fast. I don't need to make more. I've just got a few coins on my list that I'm aiming for. So yeah, that's been my month. Gold is still, I always like to talk about gold a little bit. I think gold's hit the 2,100 mark. I think it's going to plateau for a bit. It needs to have a breather. I don't think it's going to drop below. It might do. I don't think it will. I think now's a good time to kind of stock up. There's a lot of people message me like, when it goes lower, I want to buy from you. And I said to them, I don't think it'll go lower. I'm not even shilling coins. Some people will say that just to get a sale. For me, I can't keep coins quick enough. Like that order yesterday, I've got 1 coin left and that's earmarked for someone. 1 gold coin. The silver coins I haven't even listed. I've got some of them left. Some of them have been sold. But I do think the 2-1 is where it'll be benchmarked against moving forward. And I think the next leg up is probably 2.5 in terms of pounds. It will get there. It will take time. I am pro gold, but I think it's logical. We shall see where it goes when they announce the budget. Now, the budget might be a bad one for me because I pay myself a lot of dividends, and they don't seem to like people who earn money via dividends. I can understand it. I see both sides of it. If I was wanting to tax the rich, it's probably a very prudent idea, but I think instead of taxation, they need to work on cost efficiencies. I say this to people all the time. Anyone who's had a chat about taxes with me, I turn around and say, I don't have a problem with taxes per se. I have a problem with the wastage of tax money. And it's very, very problematic. Bit of a tangent, but we shall see on the next budget how it's going to go. If it's a bad one, I can see gold shooting. If it's a good one, which I don't think it will be. For the record, I'm not anti-Labour. I'm not anti-Tory. I'm a centrist. People have got a bit narky with me recently. Like it doesn't matter. It's not sour fruit. Sour fruit. Is that the right terminology? I'm not sour about it. It's just a case of I try and stay apolitical because you can't please everyone. You know, if I picked a side, I'd probably have a bigger channel. But I don't. I agree with both sides and I disagree with both sides. So that's just how it is. I just like to talk about the gold price and how politics affects that. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the video. I will see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.